Hi everyone, and welcome to this drawing video. In this video, I want to show you how to draw skin texture. There are loads of different methods for doing this, and I just want to show you the methods that I've been using recently. It's a method that I find really fun and relaxing, and I feel like it's an easy way to create a realistic looking texture. And I hope this video helps out. For this type of drawing, I recommend using either an HB or a 2B pencil, along with blending sticks and a small eraser. If you don't have blending sticks, you can use a brush or cotton buds, or even your fingers. There are loads of great options for blending. I also made use of a 6B pencil and a white GellyRoll pen, and I'll be sure to list all the equipment I used in this video down in the description box below. Please don't worry too much about the art supplies you use. You can use any pencils and any paper, and I promise you'll be able to create something similar. I'm going to show you a couple of examples. In the first example, I'm going to show you a simple drawing of skin texture using my method, and then in the second example, I'll use the technique around a drawing of an eye. As you can see, I started off by adding a rough first layer of shading, starting light and then building up darker layers where I need them. I'm using a mechanical pencil with HB leads, but this is purely down to my own personal preference. I've been using this pencil for years and it's my absolute favourite, and I use it for every drawing. After that, I blend all the shading using blending sticks, keeping the texture nice and smooth. And I think it's really important to keep the shading light at first, and then you can add more layers of shading to it afterwards. And this way you can adjust any mistakes while they're easy to erase. Next up, I like to get a scrap piece of paper, and I roughly add a dark area of shading to it with a 6B pencil. Then I take a small blending stick, and I blend on top of this dark shading, so that the blending stick picks up some of the graphite. Then, using this blending stick, I start to tap it on top of the shading, creating variations in the smooth texture. And if you use a larger blending stick, this can work really well for creating freckles too. I also use the blending sticks in this way to start developing the shapes and the wrinkles on the skin, and from there I use a sharpened lead to refine some of these lines. I then also like to use a small eraser. In this case, it's a Tombow mono eraser, and I use it to tap away at the shading in the same way I was using the blending stick, creating lots of small highlights. I also use it to create highlights along wrinkles of the skin and that kind of thing. Doing this can really help to adjust the contrast and develop the 3D shape. Then lastly, and this step is just another personal preference of mine, I really enjoy using a white GellyRoll pen. You can use any kind of white ink pen or even white acrylic paint, something like that. I add another layer of highlighting with this. After this, you can continue adding layers. Blending with the blending sticks can really help to fade some of the highlighting if you need it to. And that's the technique I use. Now I'll show you how I use this technique around an eye. So as you can see, I started off with the first layer of basic shading, building up some layers. And I make sure to use a blending stick to keep the shading nice and smooth. After that, I add some graphite to a small blending stick and tap away at the shading to create some variations on the skin. Then using the blending sticks to add wrinkles, and then refining them further with a pencil, and also using a small eraser to create some highlights. When you're working on drawings like this, it's a great idea to have some references in front of you. I recommend not to try to copy the tiniest details because that can often lead to drawings looking a lot more awkward. I feel like this method works well when you have a relaxed hand and you place the details randomly, while also taking inspiration from a reference. I find that it's a lot more fun to approach this style of drawing in a relaxed way. And lastly, for the final stages of this drawing, I used a white ink pen to add a layer of highlighting. It's such a fun process, and I really believe this makes it easier to draw skin textures. It also doesn't take a lot of time, which is an added bonus, and I really hope this helps out. Please be sure to let me know what you think of this, and also let me know if you have any suggestions for future videos. If you want to see more stuff like this, then feel free to subscribe, and any likes or shares on this video, they really mean a lot to me. If you want to follow my progress and see photos before I post these videos, then please check out the links in the description box below to check out my Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you all soon.